There's this phrase that I was seeing come across my feed a little while back, and I didn't think too much of it. I didn't pay attention to it. But then I noticed that this same phrase was coming across my feed and being suggested to me more frequently, and so I started to pay a little closer attention to it. And then eventually, I decided to just go ahead and watch one of these videos. And what that was in regard to is this idea that I have lost the feeling for everything, or I don't feel anything, or I've lost the desire to do anything, or I feel nothing. I mean, this is, this is what I was seeing, and it seemed to be this common trend. And when I watched the one video and listened to this guy, it was a little depressing, if I'm being honest. But yet, his video had a lot of views, and so that would indicate that there was interest, and that interest could be in people finding enjoyment and pleasure out of the suffering of others. I mean, that could account for some of the views, I'm sure, but I think that also what could account for some of those views is other people feeling the same way, having those same feelings, basically a loss of feeling, like not feeling anything. And it seemed to me like that must have resonated with a lot of people, and that was obvious in the amount of views that this video got. And so when I listened to it, that's basically what he was talking about. He was just talking about how he lost interest in everything and just doesn't have a desire to do anything, and just he doesn't want to be a part of the things that are going on around him, and just completely lost interest in everything. And it was an interesting conversation that he was having. And I got to thinking about how I had been seeing that more frequently in my feed. So I just happened to take his title and plug it into YouTube's search bar to see, just how much of this content was out there. And to my astonishment, there was a lot. I mean, so much so that I gave up looking at it. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's almost as if this thing has become so popular and so big that it is its own niche here on YouTube, where this is all that people are talking about on their channel, is how they have completely lost interest in everything, and they are not feeling anything. And that, just something obviously has changed in the culture and in society. And I think that, I don't know, I was thinking about it a little bit, and I think that this speaks volumes about the things that are happening and where we are at here in time. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with the fact that the direction life seems to be headed here, and where this thing is taking us. Because, I mean, I even feel that like I am on a ride that I never asked to get on, but I am going, whether I like it or not. And so I get that feeling. And I think that this is the foundation of these people's emotions and where this is coming from. Obviously, they have lost a sense of control over their life, and they're caught up in something that they are not happy with. And so, yeah, I think that what possibly speaks to this emotion that is trending, I would say, is that we are now in a world that I think is contrary to our physical makeup and our being, our natural being. We are crossing a barrier here and entering into a world that is going to be, if it's not already, more synthetic than natural. And I think that what we're experiencing as people going into this environment, at least those of us, I would say, who have a past recollection of the real world, because these younger generations, this is all they know. So it probably feels normal to them. But to people who have experienced a big part of their life in the natural world without all this technology and devices, well, something feels very wrong here, I would say, to us. And I think what we are feeling is this resistance to this synthetic world, because we are natural, spiritual beings. And to put us in that synthetic environment would be akin to taking a fish out of water, essentially. And the way that that fish reacts when it's flopping on the shore, trying to get back into its environment, well, I think that that's these emotions that people are feeling. Every fiber of their being is screaming out, saying something isn't right. And that's because we've lost touch with the natural world, with our origins, with the root of who we are, our source. And we are entering into this thing that no longer resembles that. And I think that our senses are screaming out in the same way that the fish flops around the shore out of water. And it's very interesting to me, because it would appear that more and more people are feeling this. And it makes absolute sense to me that we would, and that those talking this way and saying these things are only going to increase as we get further and further into this thing. And yeah, unfortunately, this is a ride that I don't think we have the ability to get off. And so it sucks, but the only thing to do is, buckle up, because you're on it. And I'm not sure about you and what the correct way is of dealing with this, but there has to be some type of resistance to it. And I think that by going outside, kicking off your shoes, and feeling the dirt or grass under your feet and getting grounded to the earth is a good way to resist that. To go out of, the rooms that we're constantly in and get out in the sunlight and experience the tranquility that's available to us in nature, that is resisting it. And, there's going to come a time when that's all we have. And so I would start taking advantage of it now, because I think that it can help with some of these negative emotions associated with this thing that's happening. And I've been trying to do it as a daily routine, and it's, I feel, helped me tremendously. And so, these type of things, by, putting yourself in that natural environment more, I think that will ultimately ease those feelings of unease that you are feeling due to this synthetic world that we're all clearly a part of. And so, yeah, I don't know. I found it interesting, and it seemed to be a consistent theme. And if I'm being honest, I even feel it, and I think that a society that's feeling that way will certainly not operate very well. And so I don't know. I don't know what it all means. I don't know where this thing goes. And the only thing I do know is that natural environment, that's where I find peace. And that's what to me is authentic and where I belong. And so I'm going to try and spend as much time there as possible and as little time in the other one. And so that would be my suggestion to anyone else that's having similar feelings. And, you know, if you are, and with those feelings comes this feeling of being alone, well, I can assure you that's not the case. Just type that into your search bar and you will be met with many stories of people saying the same exact thing. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think that it comes with this new territory, and that's what people are experiencing. So anyway, keep your head up and get outside. It'll help.
So this does absolutely no justice to what this looks like here, you know, in person. But after making that video today, I was out here cutting grass, just happened to look up and see this, and so I wanted to share it with you because this is what I mean. When I say to, you know, go outside, put your feet in the grass, just disconnect from everything, be a part of nature, the environment that you're in, you know, just, yeah, be still and quiet and soak it all in. You are still surrounded by beauty. It's just, I think, a matter of looking in the right places for it. This is incredible. I mean, there's beautiful sunsets up here every night, but this one's hitting a little different. Absolutely beautiful. That's what the real world has to offer. So go out and get it.
I'm Brad Casper. This is Casper's Corner. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Casper's out.